With the last level of your frame built, take your adapter caps and put them on top of each of the outer perimeter joints, and then take your finishing caps and put those on the 4 inner joints. To assemble the left animal barrier gate, start with part 2 and insert part 5 spacer sleeve on top. Then follow up with part 3, and then finally put on your joint cap to finish that joint. Now you can insert this whole joint on top of one of your round tubes, part number 20. Next, take part 7 and insert it onto the round tube, and make sure that it is in the same orientation as your connector up here. This will allow your gate to be flat and even. So insert part 7 onto the end of this pole and slide it up about 6 inches onto the pole. This will act as your bottom gate hinge. Next, take 2 of the longer square tubes, part 18, and insert them into the square opening on your top and bottom joint connectors. Insert them until you feel them hit the back of the joint. Finally, take the shorter square tube, part 17, and 2 L connectors, part 9, and connect them together. Have part 9 face the same way on both ends, and then you can insert this whole tube piece onto the end of your frame. For your right gate, start with part 2 T connector and insert onto it the gate hinge part 4. And slide this all the way to the bottom of the T connector. Now take part 5, spacer sleeve, insert it on top of that, and then finally cap it off with the joint cap part 13. Now insert this whole joint on top of the short round poles part 20. Now take part 6, the bottom right door hinge connector, and slide that onto the bottom of the round tube. And once again, slide this on about 6 inches up to the pole, and then put part 8, the spacer sleeve, on top of this. And slide this on until it meets with your bottom hinge connector. Make sure that the orientation of this hinge connector is the same way as your top gate connector, and this will again line up that right gate. Take 2 long square tubes, part 18, and insert these into the square openings of your bottom and top hinge. Now take the shorter square metal tube, part 17, and insert onto it part number 10. This will usually come already connected in your kit, but if it doesn't, just slide it on. And then connect 2 L connectors, part 9, onto either end of this tube in the opposite direction of your gate latch. And then insert these L connectors into your existing right gate frame. Take your right animal barrier gate and attach that into the opening of the adapter cap and push it down until you reach the bottom of that stacking stake. And then repeat this step for the left portion of your gate. Take 2 of your gate to board connectors and fasten them on either side of the timber to lock that animal barrier pole in place. Fasten them using a power drill and the screws provided. Now take your metal gate braces and fasten them in between the boards with a power drill and the screws provided. When you're positioning your gate brace, make sure that the screw holes don't fall over the edge of the board where they meet. Take 7 of the short, round metal tubes, part number 20, and insert them into each one of the adapter caps around the perimeter of your raised bed. Now take 7 of your L connectors, part 1, and 7 of your T connectors, part 2, and combine these together, as so, and then take each of these joints and place them on top of the 7 round poles that you just installed. Make sure when you're installing them to abide by the arrow on the bottom of the joint. That arrow will direct you as to the orientation that you should insert that. Take 2 of your small round metal tubes, part number 20, and insert them in between the joints of your 2-foot boards in the front of your design. Then take 6 of your 4-foot metal tubes, part number 19, and insert those over the 4-foot sections. Reference the diagram in your instructions for the layout of these netting segments. When you're installing your netting, use the zip ties provided, and it's useful to have someone to help you install your netting as you go. If you're installing a 2-level animal barrier, the installation is exactly the same as the first level, with the only difference being when you install the left and right gate, you'll use part number 22 as a spacing sleeve. You'll just insert that onto the bottom of each one of those gate hinges and insert them into the top of your first level animal barrier stake. And you'll do that for both sides, right and left gate. With the final level of your frame and animal barrier built, the last step is to fill it up with soil and start planting. If you have any questions on this instructional video, please email us at support@frameitall.com.